Yes, hello once again. Welcome, good evening, and good night to those who are viewing. Whenever you view it, let me turn down this music 1 second. Okay, and we are live. Welcome once again. My name is Marvin Smith, founder and CEO of Nxuscloud Inc. So I wanted to do this live because I know my previous live last week Sunday there was some audio issues. So I'm just gonna do a little recap. I'm not gonna be on here too long. So I'm just gonna do a recap on last week's live. We're gonna talk about the MGM hack. Still information still leaking out. But what we know so far is that the threat actors, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but got in through they they basically got in through the help desk, which is your first level of defense, and they social engineered an attack that way. They found somebody on LinkedIn to impersonate, and that's how they got in. Um, and then from there, not 100% sure on what their thought process was, but from my understanding is that they basically shut everything down while the ransomware was going taking effect. So I'm going to show this news video. This is coming in from, I believe, what is this, CBS. The total estimated cost for them being down so long was a total of 100 million. Uh, that's a lot of money. So, but again, we're talking about MGM rewards, booking sites, guest loyalty programs, the slot machines. All of those services were pretty much down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight, and all of that stuff being down is basically just money being left on the table. You're talking about parking services, paying for tickets, who knows what else is tied into the whole MGM infrastructure. And then later on, we're going to talk about I believe it's the Black Cat ransomware. That's again not 100%, but they said it was developed by Alpha Hive, and Alpha Hive, which is a ransomware as a service. I've seen their work before. They have um, they're they're uh, they're pretty much batting 100 right now. So, but again, let's get into this newsreel, and we're gonna just listen so you could hear how much they actually lost over that time period. So just let me go ahead and share my screen. And okay, right. So let's let this play.
Good evening. It's been more than 3 weeks since MGM Resorts was hit with that massive cyber attack.
Now, as the company works to return to normal, it sent more information out today explaining what happened and detailing the steps it's taking to get back to normal.
8 News Now anchor Sasha Loftus joins us now live from the Las Vegas Strip tonight to explain. Denise and Brian, those we spoke with here on the strips tonight say they're still seeing some issues at MGM properties. Now, this comes as the company sent that letter out to its customers today acknowledging the hack and its efforts to work through it. Does that frustrate you? It's been nearly a month since the MGM cyber attack heard around the world.
I heard they're having some issues.
And people on the Las Vegas Strip say they're still seeing some fallout.
Yeah, the lines were horrible. It just took us so long to be able to check in.
On Thursday, the The company acknowledged the situation, sending this letter to customers and explaining more about what happened. According to a recent government filing, MGM Resorts cites a loss of about $100 million. They also warned that hackers got a hold of customers' personal information, including names, birthdays, and in a few cases, social security numbers.
I asked them for a confirmation email. They said we're not doing anything like that.
And while the situation is said to be contained, some tell us they're still seeing issues with check-ins, cancellations, and lost reservations.
I called them and called them and called them. We're getting off the plane going, where are we staying?
Regardless, those who made the trip say they're having a good time.
We wanted to switch hotels, but it is what it is.
Adding that recovery from something like this is a process for everyone.
They did what they could.
Now, MGM says any customer affected by this will get an email directly from them. They said this mainly applies to customers who were at MGM properties before March of 2019. They also said they will, of course, offer different resources, including different credit resources for those who were impacted by this hack. Reporting live on the Las Vegas Strip tonight, Sasha Loftus, 8 News Now.
And the company has also established a call center for those affected to give their questions answered. We have that number for you at the bottom of our screen and also on our website at 8newsnow.com.
All right, let me go ahead and stop sharing. So, yes, so a total of $10 million. No, sorry, not 10, $100 million. I believe that number is still rising because they're still not back to 100%. Again, I'm not in any admin shoes or any network engineer, but my first step would not be to kind of just shut everything down. But again, it's really hard to say what was going on in that time frame, but we do know that this data breach has been a total of $100 million loss in total, which I believe it's still going to be more. And the threat actors basically got information. They got some credit card numbers, they got some birthdays, things like that. And it pretty much happens every time. Like what I try to emphasize with business owners that I talk to, it doesn't matter if you're a small mom and pop shop or whatever you want to call it. It's your information, it's being compiled, a massive database is being built, and protect your information pretty much. Now let's dissect this whole information from what we've heard or what I've heard. The situation was the threat actors got in through the help desk. They impersonated somebody. We don't know who that person is, but they got in through the help desk. They called the help desk. I'm assuming the script was like, "Hey, this is such and such. I forgot my password. Can you reset it and tell me my password?" Again, in my experience, anybody who's calling for something like that basically has to verify who they are first. Um, this is a common, well, not a common practice, but this should be something that's being put into place where the employee has to have a some kind of verbal authentication with the help desk representative that's taking a call, so they could properly identify who the person is and authenticate that person. But in that situation, that wasn't done, so the password was just reset, and they told the threat actor the password. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that with that company because we found out later on that this was a third party vendor. And if it was that simple, um, it's not a good thing. Uh, that contract may be with that vendor, may be um, terminated, or some kind of legal aspect should be, I can't say should, but some type of legal aspect may be in the works. So, but who knows? Where I'm just speculating right now, so I don't have a clue of what's going on. But I'm gonna try to pull up some more quick information. And again, I'm not gonna stay on here long. I was supposed to be on here like at 8 o'clock, but some things happened, got delayed, and so let's go into it. I'm gonna play some music while I queue up my information. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Black Cat Red. Well, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to watch a quick video about the Black Cat ransomware, and then we're going to look at there's an FBI report that I want to show you. So this ransomware has been around for a while. I think it's been in the wild since sometime last year, but we're going to look at an FBI report that basically breaks down the summary. I'll probably post it in the live notes, show notes later sometime tonight, but we'll look at what the Black Cat ransomware consists of. But let's go ahead. Wait.
Were taken over by ransomware and shut down. For once, they weren't the ones who were. Some of the largest hotels and casinos in the world were taken over by ransomware and shut down. For once we're robbing people. Watching all these casinos and slot machines with blue screens of death all over them, take out Windows XP. Now, the ransomware that was deployed is called Black.
So I want to just note for a quick second that again, being a Windows user myself, a lot of ATMs, a lot of machines like the slot machines do run on an older version of Windows. Sometimes it's not really even that the only choice is to run on Windows. It's just most of these software, you need a base operating system to run the overall physical machine, but a lot of these software that sit on the top aren't really customized for any other type of OS. And sometimes the vendors themselves, I don't know if it's just a lack of budget, or they just don't have the manpower to constantly upgrade, um, improve these softwares. But majority of the time, a lot of ATMs that I've seen do run on Windows, but Windows is sitting in the back end of the operation. If you want me to talk more about that, just kind of leave a note, or leave a comment, and I'll go into details and create a video about that. But majority of the ATM machines, slot machines, things like that do run on Windows. But again, I believe it's just about, maybe it's just a budget issue where they can't upgrade to a later version of Windows, or maybe the software that's running on top of Windows, um, isn't optimized for the latest version. But let's get back into this.
Cat, and it's kind of a successor or renaming of Black Matter and Darkside, which are ransomware as a service based in Russia. We've looked at them in depth, but what's interesting about this attack was that it didn't just involve typical Russian ransomware, it also involved social engineering by hackers based in Western countries who understood the language and culture well enough to hack into their systems with a 10-minute phone call. Now, another thing that makes these attacks even more ironic is the fact that these are the venues where the largest hacking convention or cybersecurity conventions are held, including Black Hat and DEF CON, and I was there just a few weeks ago. Now, if we take a look at the ransomware that did it, there are two major variants of this. One obviously is on Windows. It's well detected now, 39.071. This particular sample has been analyzed a week ago, but we've also got a variant on Linux. And by the way, for you programming nerds, this ransomware is actually coded in Rust. But what's interesting to note is that in this particular case, a lot of the damage was not just caused by the ransomware. The reason a lot of the hotel guests couldn't get into their rooms, that everything was shut down, was partly because when the internal teams realized they were breached, they decided to voluntarily shut down their systems to prevent further damage or prevent some kind of data exfiltration event.
Yeah, so it's like I was saying before, they willingly shut their system down. That wouldn't be my first choice, but again, who knows in that scenario what would have happened. But we also know that data exfiltration was already done during that whole process. So shutting their system down was not, again, I can't even really say was the best choice, but data was already taken out of their system to begin with. We have our own dark web tool here at Nxuscloud, so we were able to see what was taken out of their uh their networks. And again, it's just a company that size. I would expect um better password management, better password complexity. We did see a few hashed passwords, but that might have been on the engineering level. Me, I want to do I do complete complete or nothing. Strong passwords throughout the entire company. I'll even take it to another step and say passwords are changed every 30 days, pretty much. But again, that's just me.
Apparently, it ended up costing 4.2 to 8.4 million dollars per day. But I'm guessing most of that is because if the slow machine's not working, in which case I guess you can say the gambler saved 4.2 to 8.4 million dollars per day. It's actually two separate incidents involving MGM and Caesar's Palace. MGM made the hasty decision to shut down each and every one of their sync servers. Gives me that sinking feeling, learning that they have been lurking on the Okta agent server sniffing passwords of people. Meanwhile, the attackers continued having super administrator privileges to their Azure tenant. I think one of the key things to understand from this exchange is even if you do the right thing from a security perspective, trying to lock the attackers out of your system, that also comes at a cost, and sometimes that cost is very high, which is why a lot of businesses choose to pay the ransom. Now, another interesting thing to take away from this is that according to Caesars, their breach was caused by an outsourced IT support vendor, which was the victim of a social engineering attack. So you can have a really fancy cybersecurity team and all that, but if you're outsourcing bottom dollar,
Okay, so the information that is still coming out, I think it's just a mixed bag of different situations. So I heard that that's how they pretty much got in, was through a social engineering attack with MGM, but Caesars also got hit with a ransomware also. They paid it. Again, you should never, again, I don't want to say never, but the overall, my mentality when it comes to IT and IT infrastructure security is be proactive, not reactive. Again, you don't want to sit there and wait for the issue to pop up. There are tools and indicators now that could let you know what potential issues will pop up. So the mindset I have, and I've always had that, is just basically never be reactive, be proactive. So we now know that Caesars was hit with a ransomware, but they end up paying it. And how the threat actors got through was doing a social engineering attack on them also. Yeah. The I was talking to our potential um, cybersecurity expert that we're going to bring on board, and he basically said it is that at the top of the list of any type of cybersecurity data breach is that social engineering is at the very top. Again, my mentality is just implementing something that that employee has to kind of verify who they are. So, but let's get back into it.
support and they have your passwords, well, guess what? Your security is only as good as their Windows XP computers. Jokes aside, though, the interdependence is a big issue, and we've seen this previously in other supply chain attacks, like 3CX, where essentially one package in the software, like this entire phone system software, everyone using it could effectively be hacked through this one malware that was deployed in the supply chain. Similarly, if you have an IT vendor who's compromised, someone can use that as an entry point to a much larger organization. Hopefully, this helps demonstrate how complex cybersecurity can be sometimes. It's not as simple as just securing your computers or even your own.
Yeah, so I have to agree. Cybersecurity is very complex. You have to control every aspect of it, even down to the vendors, what packets they're deploying in your system, even with the entire software deployment um, uh, ecosystem. It's very fragile. One bad code that got in somewhere could affect an entire company. So, but let's continue.
Employees because it could be somebody else's employees. So it's really important to have a broad mindset, look into every aspect of your setup, including risk assessment, principle of least privilege, access management, and all the rest. But hey, let's look at the bright side. Some gamblers save millions of dollars. Some may even be so frustrated they might give up gambling. Not the worst thing in the world, but it is crazy the kind of impacts some cyber attacks can have in this day and age, especially considering these hotels host DEF CON, so cybersecurity is not alien to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and share it if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to the PC Security channel. And now to our sponsors. You know what's funny? I actually spent a lot of time this year going to all the conferences. Yeah. but I never actually got to try one. This video is brought to you by Nxuscloud.
So yeah, I'm not gonna play his sponsor. This video is not sponsored. So let me stop sharing here. And so yes, as you can see, the entire software, the entire cybersecurity is not just it's not just securing your PC. You have to think you basically have to think like a threat actor. What vectors do I need to close up? What am I not thinking of? Um, what backdoors in servers are not available? Um, exactly. Just you got to just kind of just look at everything from a broad aspect. So and so after this, we're going to look at this FBI report to talk about Black Cat slash Alpha Hive. I believe they're saying that it was created by Alpha Hive, but again, it's been out since 2022, which is new. We're in the last quarter of 2023, and now it's actually getting this ransomware is actually getting major traction now. So I'm going to show you this report, and I'm just going to read some snippets from this report. Okay, so let me share this. All right, let's play some music while I just want to share the tab. I don't want to share everything. Okay, so I know what I'll do. I'll bring this over here. All right, so let's bring this up. Okay, so this is the FBI, I guess they call it the flash report. So I'm just going to read a quick summary. I'm going to probably leave this in the link below. So I'm just going to read a quick summary. Basically, this flash is part of a series of the FBI reports to disseminate known indicators of compromised IOCs and tactics, techniques, and procedure. So, with the ransomware variant identified through FBI investigations as of March 2020, 2022, Black Cat Alpha Hive ransomware as a service had compromised at least 60 entities worldwide. So the ransomware itself has been around since 2022, and we're just hearing about it now. But remembering from the video, this is a variant from something else. So the first ransomware group to do so successfully using Rust to more secure programming language that offers improved performance and reliability. And so, yeah, Rust is a pretty good language from what I I've seen and heard. Um, so the Black Cat affiliated threat actor group typically requests ransom payment of several $1 million in Bitcoin or Monero, but have accepted ransom payment below the initial ransom demand amount. Many of the developers and money launderers for Black Cat Alpha Hive are likely to be DarkSide, Black Matter, indicated they have extensive networks and experience with ransomware operations. So I'm going to leave this in the link below just in case anyone has it. Just give me like maybe 2 or 3 hours after this live is over, and I'll get it together. But and let me stop here. But yeah, this is just going to be a quick live. I just wanted to come back on and just reiterate some of the stuff I talked about last week since I was having some audio issues. But it looks like everything is good right now. Yep, audio looks good, video looks good. So yeah, I took a quick break from streaming over the summer break or just creating content, but I continue to upload. So next week I'm putting together another live. I want to talk about the RSA hack. I'm still getting my material together, but that's probably going to be a lengthy live because I want to talk about a lot of things that I still see. Companies are still using RSA seed keys or many variants of it, which is not really a reliable prevention or I don't even remember what it's called, a method of authentication. So we, in my days, well, not in my days, but in my career coming up in IT, we were always told that's like the facto of authentication. It's the top notch. But again, we've heard that even the seed server itself got compromised. So, but I'm getting my information together for next week's live, so I should have everything I need, and then we're just gonna talk about it. So that is it for now. I'm signing off. I'll be back next week. So next Sunday, maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 9. So I'll catch you guys then. All right. Bye.